Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Boyan Petreski. Today is October 19th, 2022. This is the FX and crypto trading live session on our channel. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday morning for me, uh, evening or afternoon to anybody else around the world. I'm just double checking that everything's good on our end. Uh, there we go. Just making sure that this is all set. Perfect. All right, so we'll be getting started in just a few seconds now. The disclaimer is there for your use, your understanding that this is for educational and instructional purposes only. This is a demonstration of the use of the products that we are going to be showing today. We'll be focusing primarily on FX and crypto trading. And of course, if you have any questions, any comments, anything that you want to go over, please feel free to send me an email to boyan@tradictive.com. And of course, the QR code here, if you scan it with your phone, it'll give you some additional information if you need it, which I just realized the camera's not on. Oh, I think it is. We're fine. Sorry. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started with the session for today. So, we're going to be looking at this is the agenda for today. We're going to look at the market environment. We're going to, manage any open positions, review any closed positions, and of course, we're going to execute on new opportunities. So, let's go ahead and get started with this session for today. So, for this scenario, we'll be typically using TradingView for our analysis. Now, as far as your execution platform, you could use different brokers. You could use, MT4 for executing the FX trades. You could also use MT4 if your Forex broker supports crypto trading. You could also use your Forex broker to execute on the crypto trades as well. And of course, different brokers, different exchanges may have different benefits to the various coins that are available when it comes to executing on them. So we'll be getting those done and looked at based on an individual case scenario. Before we get started, just down here below, you'll see it on the ticker. We do have our Mystery to Mastery trading series, the first book, which is for Forex, already out. It is available in paperback and ebook format. If you need it, it's right there with tradewithufos.com/book. All right. So as far as open trades, we do not have any open trades because we haven't traded in our channel crypto and Forex for a little bit. It's been quite some time. As far as any close trades, I don't think they'll be relevant at this point. I'm going to look it up to see when's the last time we did it. I think it was sometime in July where we had some trades. And I'm not sure if they were in our channel here. So it's been quite some time since we've had them. But what I'll be doing right now is I'll be working on getting the trade sheet updated on my link, which is tradewithufos.com/Boyan. So that way everything is nice and clear in one place. All right. So without much further else to talk about closed trades or, pre or open opportunities, we're going to go ahead and take a look at what's in front of us right now, which as you see right here, we do have the euro US dollar open right in front of us here. The market climate down below, giving us the current condition of the climate, whether or not we should be trading that instrument is the first question. The second question is in which direction should we be trading that particular instrument if we are allowed to trade it. And of course, the third question is, where do we exit, enter, and have our profit targets? So we'll be answering each and one of those questions, which with each one of these charts that we have in front of us. just going to pull this on the side here so I can have all the chat available for those of you that are joining us live. All right. So in this scenario, I'm just going to go from the top down, which is from the daily. And we're going to go here on the 55-minute and hourly on the euro dollar. So we have a confirmed up climate. As you see here, it's the second one out of typically 5. So definitely not late to this party. Right, that means we do have another 3 days for this climate to propagate to still be a high probability setup. Looking at it right now, we have current price being around this 97.77 area. Our moving average though is at the 97.882 area. So this one is, I would say, fairly close. It's a little below the moving average, therefore it's trading below the moving average. Now, I just want to double check that we don't have some sort of UFO that could help us, and in this scenario, we do not. We see that the 97.88 area is actually a red UFO, therefore we cannot take this trade. There may have been a UFO here before, which would be easy to see. It's just a quick little market replay here to see what might have been there. Okay, and there it is. So this trade, right, a few hours ago, essentially midnight my time here, 98.192 through 97.794 might have actually been the trade to take. However, we are where we are right now, and that's what we have to work with. We can't catch them all, right? Looking at it the way it is showing, again, it's not something that we can work with. Okay. Yes. Where did the? Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I'm like, they must have changed something here, because now it's on the bottom here. So that's what it is. I already saw that they changed this, but yeah. So this UFO, or even the one down here below, however, the moving average did not work out for that, so therefore that would not have panned out, even though it was tested. Okay, and that's where we are right now. So this 97.77 would have been a better entry point. However, the moving average is a little bit above it, so it would not have worked out. All right, let's go down to the 4-hour chart. And we're going to go down to the 21-minute and the 30. Just check something here. Yeah, so we're going to be on the 60-minute and the 240-minute. So on the 40, we're going to have the 21, and we'll have the common one here, the 30. Okay, let's see what we can come up with here. Let's go ahead and turn off the market replay. Looks like it's a confirmed down climate on the 4-hour. Okay, and we have, for the second one, out of typically 7, so that means we do still have another 5 4-hour increments. So that's 20 hours. That's close to 1 day to have this trade work out for us. The only thing that is, disadvantageous to this trade is that we do have a fairly close UFO here at 97.572. Given the fact that it's the moving average is at 98.145, that will give us a little bit, more room. Let's just see how things work out. Oh my God, look at this. Yeah, that's a collection of UFOs up there, right? So 98 150 is actually here within this, giant UFO here. But again, this is a little too big, and this one I can, with a fair certainty, I can say that this will not even pass the 1-to-1 requirement, given the fact that our T2 would have to be right there. So that's one, I think we're going to have to skip on. And then on the hourly, I think the climate was overextended. Yep, going for 11 hours out of typically 6. So we're going to go ahead and skip. So that's that for the euro dollar. Just checking that there aren't any questions. Yep, looks good. Let's take a look at the Aussie dollar and see what's going on with the Aussie. Same thing, top down, daily. All right, let's just double check. Yep, everything's good here. There we go. Aussie, holy cow, overextended. 26 days going down for out of typically 5. That is excessive by all means, shapes, and sizes. All right. So kind of a similar situation here with the euro dollar. I think we do have a little bit more room, though, to the downside. 62.93. So let's go ahead and set this up on the 21 and the 30 is good. 62.93, and we do have multiple UFOs up here at this area, 63.064, all the way up to 63.238. So that looks like it's going to be a valid setup. Let's go ahead and set this up. 063.064. Take profit and stop loss always gets checked because this is how we trade. Now, of course, for selling, right, we're going to round it down for entry. So this will be at 63.06. All right. Our stop loss needs to be above the UFO we're entering because obviously we're going short. So this is our entry point right here. We cannot have, this will not be enough of the white space in between these two UFOs. So we'll be above here. So our stop for now, let's just, put it the way we always do, 63.238, right? So this is the top of this UFO that's represented by this number right here, 63.238. Now, we're going to round this up to 63.24, right? But also, we're going to add 7 pips to this stop. So you can either do it here or up here. So 7 pips plus these 18 is 25. All right, so that means our T1 and 1-to-1 profit target will be at 63.31. Our T1 is at 62.810. Now, last thing that I do want to put in here would be time in force. We said we got about 20 hours for this trade to work. So if we want to just round it up, all right, it's 6:16 right now, my time. So what this would do is by tomorrow, by essentially 4 a.m., this trade needs to work. Otherwise, it should get canceled. All right, so that's our first leg. We're going to sell. And the way I do it is 150 flat there. Okay, that's our stop. That's our T1. All right, and we do see that this will, visually, we do see that this final target, which is down here at 62.52, will definitely be a more than a 1-to-1. So we're going to go ahead and, click sell again. Same entry point, 63.06. Stop loss stays the same, except the final target is going to be 62.52. Now for this one, for the target, we're just going, there's no rounding up that's needed here because it's already a round number, but we are going to add two more pips that we need to have in order to make sure we capture this before this large time frame UFO down below. So we're going to go ahead and hit sell again, and there it is, 62.52, 62.50. Yep, perfect. All right. One last thing that I like doing, just for making sure things are nice and clean whenever we put these trades on. So it's easy to also find them. So we know, okay, this is what we were looking at the time when we were here together on this session. This is the vertical line. This is the vertical line that we were looking at. That was the time, the candle that we looked at. This is our setup here. Let's go ahead and take a screenshot of it. So this is the this is 2022 1019. This is AUD USD. If I can actually type the Aussie USD dollar 4-hour setup, and this is all the UFOs. Perfect. All right, so that's our setup. That's the first trade of the day that we have in front of us. Just want to make sure everybody's looks like everything's going smooth so far. Let me just check something here. Yep, everything looks good. All right, so that's our first setup that we have on FOREX for us. Now what I wanted to do is kind of play around a little bit more in the crypto space. Obviously, crypto markets right now have not been so fun and interesting as they used to be. Liquidity has gone a little bit to other places. However, there's still plenty of movement and there's still plenty of opportunities. And what I would like to do is potentially build a kind of a longer term position based on some larger time frame stuff, whether we look at the dailies or we just simply look at, which market is outperforming some other ones, and then potentially combine that with some crypto staking that is available on a platform such as Binance, right? So the reason why I want to do this is because I've had quite a few questions come up with this about the actual calculation, like how do you actually calculate what's going to happen. I've put together a fairly simple and kind of straightforward Excel file with let's just say I'm just gonna share this with you of how it actually calculates coin APY versus dollars APY. So there's a bit of a difference there. All right, dollars APY is really simple. That's just the interest rate that you receive on any one of these coins, right? However, whenever they're actually calculated in dollars, right? When they're calculated in coins, right? This 6% APY, right? If let's say you paid right now, let's do a comparison of, so this was at a 10%. Let's just do a comparison of Formatic at 9.5% APY that gets paid out weekly, right? That's typical. And let's just put this right here. That's Matic, right? Let's say your initial investment is $1,000. The APY, not R, sorry. The APY is 9.5% that gets paid out weekly. This is what you're looking at right now. So on the first week, you're going to get another 1.923 tokens, right? Not dollars, tokens. So, which as price fluctuates, you're actually, getting that compounding effect that is, so highly coveted in the space of, in finance. Whereas the difference, let's say you do end up buying at a dollar, and this scenario, let's say, does go down to, your money does, the token goes down to 80 cents, right? So it loses 20% of its value. So yes, you lost quite a bit of it, of the original investment, right? However, you do have some additional value here, as you see, 772, that you've made just by, holding it for that period, just by staking it for that period. And as times keeps going, that value keeps growing to the point where, the dollar equivalent value, without any implication of what the token was, you've gained on value just by having it staked. All right. So that's why we're going to try to build a trade right now to see if we can find something that's, fairly high on APY, and we're going to say, okay, we're going to, shoot to hold for at least a certain amount of time, where something, that's fairly high on APY, on a reputable exchange, right? There's places that'll give you, in the 4-digit percentages on APY, paid out weekly, or sometimes even calculated daily and paid out daily. We're going to try to be, a little bit more cautious here on which platforms we use, and, Binance being kind of one of the main and more stable players. All right. So obviously, we're going to try to go from bottom up, which is top down, 1250. All right, 1 second. Just give me 1 second, folks. All right, so 1250 being Atom. So let's go ahead and pull up Atom on here, and see if there's anything that we could come up with for Atom. So right now we see that on the daily, it is unconfirmed. Let's pull up a weekly chart. Okay, it is a confirmed down climate on the weekly, so that does not bode well for a very long-term scenario. When we're looking at these, obviously we're planning on holding this for a bit of an extended period of time. It is a matter of, at least the daily, the weekly, being in our favor. I already have a feeling that the monthly is not going to be in our favor here either. It's unconfirmed, well below the moving average, so nothing to be done here. And the daily is an unconfirmed blue climate, so a sapphire dot, therefore it is an unconfirmed time frame. So all right, we're gonna skip out on Atom. Now in the 9, and there's no 10%, so in the 9% we have Matic, we have Polkadot, we have Scale, and we have Near. So we have a couple of candidates in the 9% area. So let's go ahead and start with Matic, Polkadot, and then we'll look at Near and Scale. All right, so we have Matic. All right, there is Matic. All right, so on the daily, we actually have a confirmed up climate, which is good to hear. How does it look on the weekly? Unconfirmed. All right, so let's stick with the daily. And let's take a look at on the daily with the 1 hour and the 55-minute and see if there's anything that we could use. All right, 82.66 is current moving average. All right, 82.66 is below where things are here, so it's right here, 82.66. Okay, so we can play this a little bit differently in the fact that we're going to set it up on this 84 cent area. All right, 84.98, this UFO here. Now, given that we are going to play this kind of for the longer term, okay? Yeah, okay, so there we go. So given the fact that we're going to play this for the longer term, we're not going to put the stop at the first UFO, but we're actually going to put the stop at the following UFO. Now, given the fact that these are too close, so that means we're going to have our stop down here at 79. So essentially, we're combining the next two UFOs. I don't like that there's this much, white space between them, but according to what we're going to try to do with this, which is again hold, a bit of a longer. So let's take a peek at this. All right, so far looking fairly good. We're not going to be shooting for the first opposing UFO. We do want to see something a little bit higher up there. And we're going to see the next opposing UFO, which would be up here in the $1.22 area. Now, we could take a look at those or we could just skip on them. It depends on what you want to do, because remember, we do have a compounding effect. In this scenario, I'm just gonna hold this and put it in my hodl bag formatic. So meaning I'm gonna buy probably a couple $100 worth of it and just let it sit there and accumulate uh, uh, compounding interest, building up the token quantity that I have based on what it's given me, which was the as we're seeing here, 9.5 APY. So let's go ahead and set this up. All right. All right. I think. So 94, I'm sorry, 84.98. Now we're anticipating that this is going to fill probably tomorrow or overnight tonight. The reason why is because right now the moving average is below this area, but once it recalculates for tomorrow, there's a good chance that it will be here in this UFO. All right. Let's go ahead and put this on. So we have buy at 0.8498. Take profit, stop loss. We said it's going to be down here at 0.7958. Right now, if we want to do what we love doing, which is taking half off, that's completely fine as well. We're going to be risking 150 again, and that gives you about 2,778 units or tokens for this value, for this entry point here, and how much we're risking. This one, not gonna make it go like that. Give me just 1 second, folks. I'll be right back with you. All right, folks, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and resume where we left off from. So we're gonna go ahead and buy at 84.98, and as we said, our stop is going to be below the 79.58. Um, we actually do need to add a little bit of room down below. So we're gonna go at 28, so 570. Press that 1 to 1. So let's go ahead and buy that. Now, just to kind of, basically give you a little bit more perspective on this, we're gonna let's bump this up to 250. So that way we have two legs, so we have $500 that we're going to be holding for the longer term. So let's go ahead and buy that. And there it is. Now let's do the same thing again. 84.98. Stop loss remains the same. Now for our final target here, we said we're going to have 1.226 all the way up there. All right. And let's go ahead and buy that also for 250. That's done. All right. So now let me, clarify and put some perspective into this trade, right? Because we do have the same, essentially, it's the same setup as we typically have when we're taking one of these trades, even if it was just a T1 and a T2. Now, I'm just going to pull up that Excel file that we have, right? And this is where we're going in with $500. The APY is 9.5, same as before. So this is actually Matic again. All right, so this is that first week one. Let's say we do purchase it today, and the payout is at 9.5%. We're going to be earning close to one extra token per week. Okay, now the token price here we're going to change, right? It's not a dollar. Matic is at the time of purchase will be 84.98, so 0.8498, right? And just for the sake of argument, because obviously this will be an example, I'm gonna increase the decimal places so we know exactly what it is that we have. Okay. Why is it already reducing? I think it's because I have the value here, APY. Oh, I know why. Okay, that's fine. We just need to slide this down by one cell because it actually starts calculating as of the following week. All right. Sorry, that's I ran this once before and then a couple times. All this math is right. It's just the initial value is not outputting correctly because it's multiplying it the dollars by the token price, which is not the case here. This will be the same. This is the same value, 500, right here. It's just not going to work out. But I'll touch this up again and share with everybody. But essentially speaking, we are earning per week. Again, this is per week. We're essentially earning close to one token extra per week. So right now, initially on this buy, we have 4386 total tokens, right? So every week we get an increase to the size of the position. So essentially, let's say, and let's just kind of do a random scenario. Let's say this, ends up going to 83, ends up going to 82, right? Just a random scenario of price movement, what might be happening, what could be happening everywhere here. We still see that this value, the difference that we're earning in passive income remains, and it keeps increasing and increasing, regardless of what we do here. Obviously, what we want to do, what we want to see, is essentially Matic to hit this T1 that we have, which is at 9068, right? So at point 9068, let's say in 9 weeks, right, we take half our position off, but we've still had a little bit of residual income that we've earned in the meantime, therefore increasing the profitability of the position. All right. And that's also what I had here that needs to be modified, and that I didn't realize there were hidden cells. So let's go ahead and change that too, so it properly reflects everything. Because I was playing around with an Excel formula this morning. I was like, you know what? Let's build a trade where I'm actually going to show the actual income here. So yeah, I just need to clean up a little bit of it, because obviously the value is not going to be 424 first week if the token price is the same price that we purchased at. All right. Yeah, this seems like a little bit low though. Let me see if yeah, this should be at essentially at 9.5%. You'll be earning one token per week. Yeah. So essentially speaking, right, we do have our positional buys and sells here, which is at 9068, T1, and T2 at $1.22, way up there. However, at the same time, we're going to be, tracking this trade and saying, okay, this week this trade is, the token is worth this much, therefore we've gained this much value on residual income, or rather passive income, just from the fact that we are staking on a platform that gives us staking rewards. All right. So let me just take a quick screenshot. Oh, actually, I need to put the verticals here, vertical here, and vertical here. And let's go ahead and take a screenshot of this. And we're going to put the date on it, 2022, 10/19. This is Matic, 9.5% APY plus directional setup. Perfect. All right, so we got our first trade that's going to have some passive income being generated on crypto. It's pretty cool. So I'm just going to clean up this Excel file, as I said, so it doesn't show that we've lost $80 on the first week when in fact we have not done that. So it's because this counts shares times the token price, which is not the case, right? If we were to look at the quantity we bought, it would be 43.86, 40.35. So that's how many shares we bought. And it's just that at 9.5%, that's going to be a different story. So I'm going to clean this up so everybody's on the same page, because we did have an initial investment of $500. All right. Let's see if we can find any other trades in the meantime on crypto, and then we can roll it back to. All right, so there's a trade that, or rather a setup that may seem promising. Cardano on the hourly, and we're going to look at the 8-minute and the 5 minutes on the charts up here. What do we have down below? We don't have anything down below, really. Wow. Okay. All right. So for Cardano, we're on the 3rd hour down out of typically 6. So that means we have 3 more hours to go before we need to get out of this trade. Current moving average at 35.65, and lo and behold, there's a UFO right at that exact number. So that's a perfect, quick trade setup. we are going to execute on. So we're going to sell the 35.65. We're going to take profit and stop loss, and the price is actually going to be above this UFO here, 35.89, because we see that 85 is the ending point here. However, this overlaps with this UFO here. So we need to take the white space above the two. So that was going to be 3589. Right, 24 ticks is either way. And we have 3 more hours for this to work, so we're going to make sure this expires on by 10 a.m. today. All right, we do add a little bit of room here on Cardano. So 99 looks good. And we're going to risk 150 on that trade. Sell that there. All right, we're going to set up the second leg, but we don't have a UFO to go up against. So we're just going to put this at just to double the amount at 68, just to have something in place. We're not going to be executing on it. Let's just see. I think it changed my values there. So let's reset it. There it is. Sell that. 03565. Take profit and stop loss. Stays the same. That's double. Risk is not $89. It's $150. And do the same. All right. So that's our setup on Cardano that we're looking for. Again, we don't have a T2 on Cardano because there's nothing down below that we're seeing here. All right. I really hate their scaling. Is like you see nothing. Like here's a bunch of nothing. Let's throw some vertical lines on here. So we know where it is that we looked at the trade. All right. And of course, take a screenshot. 2022, 1019. We got ADA. This is the hourly setup. Okay, so that's another trade that we got a setup on that meets our criteria, meets our entry and exit points. And yeah, so we got a couple of setups that we did in the first 40 minutes of the session. So fairly active. Let's see if we can potentially find another setup. Obviously, for staking, it goes without saying, but you need to own the underlying asset, meaning you have to buy it at a 1-to-1. There's no buying it at leverage, at least not with Binance US. If you want to, you cannot be short on one of these instruments and anticipate to own the underlying and getting interest. So therefore, it's very important that you understand that this is you're buying it at 1-to-1, and but given the fact that a lot of these are less than $1, quite a bit less than $1. I don't think it's a bad thing by any means, especially given that a lot of these projects that are on here are fairly reputable projects, and given where the overall crypto market is. I mean, right, if we just, when in doubt, zoom out, right? If we just look at the weekly on if we look at the weekly on Coinbase, right, we'll see that we're quite ways away from where the top was, right? We're right here at this area where there was an initial boom from. Okay, obviously there is a UFO at the 16,000, which, if it does come down to there, that's also another very, fairly good buy zone. And then multiple UFOs down below, um, that would be potential, longer term, buying areas. All right, let's see if we can go back to Forex real quick and see if we can come up with any other trades, perhaps in one of the miners. We already have a trade on the Aussie. Let's see if we can get any trades on some of the minor pairs that we have here. All right, Aussie CAD. Let's look at the CAD franc. See if there's anything currently on the 6th, so nothing to do there. Let's the daily unconfirmed, 4-hour. Okay, confirmed. So confirmed on the 4-hour. Let's see if we have something on the 4-hour itself. Okay, pushing down fairly hard. 72.62 is the moving average. 72.62 is within this UFO here. Therefore, we do have a trade. Let's go ahead and it's just we do have a UFO that's also fairly close to price. So it'll be a pretty finite T2 that's not so far out, that's achievable within a time period that we'll have. So currently we're on the second candle up out of typically 6. Let's go ahead and set this up. Again, risking 150. We are going to be, this is the 4-hour, so we have another 4-hour increments, so 16 hours, 80. Okay, so 16 hours from today, 16 hours from now, rather, not from today, but 16 hours from now would be, well, that would actually be right around midnight today, right? 7 plus 16, 20, yeah, about 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Okay, so set that. Our stop loss needs to be below the UFO. We see that between these two, the 72.49.8 is the nearest one. Now, always we have to round it down. So that would be 72.49. And for when we're putting our stop here, we're going to take away 5 pips. So this will actually be, we're going to essentially take away 5 pips. So this will be 21 here. And that's a 1-to-1. Buy it. And that's just above, just a smidge above these bottom UFOs, which is, it's good. It works out. If you want to give it some more room, you can certainly use the one down there as well. But according to our plan and our rules, we're currently I didn't round this up. 72.65 is where it needs to be. That's why I'm like, something didn't add up there, but let's modify this. So the for the entry, we're going to round it up and add 2 pips, so that's 7. All right, and our T1 and 1-to-1 need to be 23 pips, and now I believe we should be good. Yeah. Still risking 150 though. Perfect. Let's go ahead and set it up. Set up the second leg. The second leg is going to be at same entry price, 72.67. Stop loss remains the same, except that final target is at 73.04. And of course, we're going to take away 2 pips. So that's going to be at 35. Okay, and therefore it does not work. Yeah. As you see, it's a little less than 1-to-1. And when it's less than 1-to-1, unfortunately, the trade does not work. So let's go ahead and cancel all of it. I really thought it was going to be, I knew it was going to be very close. I just thought it looked like it was going to be more than 1-to-1 and therefore meeting our minimum criteria, but that was just not the case. As you saw, we missed it by 0.03, the minimum requirement. So we're not going to do that. All right. CAD yen is an interesting pair. Of course, a lot of these, it's going to also have to do with volume, how much volume is in these. Liquidity wise, spread wise, what you will see on your broker side is most likely, and I would say probably will be different from what I see on mine. But right now for CAD yen, it looks like we may be coming into a setup. 108.554 is the moving average on this 4-hour, but the nearest UFO is at 108.482, so therefore we don't have a trade there. On the daily, though, it is a confirmed up climate, up for 3 days out of typically 6. That says 5, but we have 5 total blue sapphire dots. But we have 3 confirmed. So looking at this here on the daily, hold on one second. Let me just double check something here. 108. Yeah, no. Okay, perfect. We're fine. All right. And then on the daily and the 55 and hourly, right? That's what we saw earlier. Okay, just wanted to double check we're not making a mistake somewhere. On the hourly, confirmed up climate, but already trading below the moving average. On the 4-hour, confirmed, but no nearby UFOs. On the daily, looking at the 55 and the hourly is what we need to see. 107.49 is actually right within this UFO here, 108.482, where price originally rallied from. I'm sorry, that's 108. 107.4. That's why I'm like, that seems very close. So this one down here, 107.338 to 107.094 is actually where this trade would be set up at. And as you see, both the hourly and the 55-minute time frames are both giving us the same UFO. So therefore, that is a decent location to put in a trade. The fact is, though, that it has to travel down from 108.6 to 107.4. Will it do that with enough time for us in the climate? That's always the balancing act that we need to do. Currently, being on the third one out of 6 days that this makes sense. So 3 more days. So before the weekend is essentially over, this needs to fill, or on Sunday. Um, and actually, I'm sorry, when we count today, so that's 3 days up until the close on Friday. So therefore, this needs to happen before Friday. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and skip on setting this one up. I just don't see it happening within these next 3 days. And if news pushes it, that'd be great. But as of right now, it just does not seem apparent. All right, so that's that for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining me live. And for those of you watching this recorded, thank you for taking the time to watch it recorded. And we'll make sure to keep on top of all of these markets and execute according to our plan, with a disciplined approach in order to make things work to the best of our ability. Thank you again, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care. Bye bye.